You're watching news headlines on mining.com. I'm Devin Murrigan. Germany and Italy are under pressure to bring home nearly $245 billion worth of gold held in the United States. The Financial Times reports that politicians and advocacy groups say storing bullion in the New York Federal Reserve exposes Europe to political risk, especially with President Donald Trump attacking the Federal Reserve's independence. Now, Germany still has about a third of its gold, 1,200 tons held in Manhattan. Italy also keeps a large chunk of its reserves in the US. Critics say it's time to bring the gold back before politics interferes with financial sovereignty. President Donald Trump's administration has unveiled sweeping changes to accelerate the search for critical minerals in US offshore areas. Now, the Interior Department says it's cutting red tape and streamlining approvals to boost access to minerals like nickel and copper, seen as vital to the economy and national security. It follows an executive order in April to promote deep-sea mining and reduce U.S. dependence on China. Exploration permits will now last 5 years instead of 3, with fewer environmental delays. The policy marks Washington's most aggressive push yet to reshape the global critical mineral supply chain. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada can meet a steep new NATO spending target by leveraging its critical mineral sector. Speaking at the Alliance Summit in The Hague, Carney said much of the projected $150 billion Canadian dollar bill could be met through infrastructure investments like ports and railways that support mineral exports. NATO is expected to agree on a new 5% of GDP spending goal, up from a previous 2%. Carney argues a third of that is already covered by Canada's current efforts to build economic resilience. He also signaled a strategic shift in military spending, saying future defense lies more in drones, satellites, and cybersecurity than in aircraft carriers. A year after a disastrous landslide at Yukon's Eagle Mine, the site is now up for sale. Receiver PricewaterhouseCoopers has hired BMO to find a buyer for the former Victoria Gold operation while cleanup efforts continue. Millions of tons of ore and cyanide-laced water spilled last June, but officials say contamination levels are slowly declining. The Yukon government says it wants a responsible buyer that will work closely with the local First Nation. Meanwhile, PwC has restarted gold recovery at the site to help fund ongoing remediation. China is poised to become the world's top lithium producer by next year, overtaking Australia, and that's according to new forecasts from Fastmarkets. Despite falling prices, Chinese miners are ramping up production with strong government backing and pressure to maintain local jobs. By 2035, China could be producing nearly 1 million tons of lithium, well ahead of its rivals in Australia and South America. Most of this growth is tied to the lepidolite mining in southern China, which is costlier and environmentally riskier. Analysts say China's aggressive expansion reflects a clear strategy to dominate global battery metal supply chains. And that's where we leave your news headlines for now.